Frank and Trudy Heckenreiter and Mike and Jill Sebo. Mr. and Mrs. Heckenreiter, if you come over here. Mr. and Mrs. Sebo, if you go over here. Are you Mike Sebo?
Yes, sir.
And are you Jill Sebo?
Yes, sir.
All right. So first of all, Mr. and Mrs. Heckenreiter, you need to know that I know Mike and Jill Sebo probably for more than 50 years. You heard me mention a moment ago that I was a member of the Immaculate Conception Parish in Three Rivers. So are the Sebos. Mike's an usher at the church. Jill is a member. Also over and above church, I've known their families for more than 50 years. I went to school with Jill's brother and sister. Mike's much older than I am, but I was in school a few years after him. So I feel I can hear this matter, but if that makes you uncomfortable, and I know that defendants attend the same church, you can ask to have another person appointed. I could ask Judge Pattison to hear this. I don't feel the need to disqualify myself. Let me ask you, are you uncomfortable with me hearing the case?
We're fine.
All right. Mr. and Mrs. Heckenreiter, what's your position?
No problem.
All right. I feel I can do it. All right. With that, living here all my life, I know lots of people. And so this comes up. If they're related to me, generally I will disqualify. But I have lots of cases where I know people. All right, this is a claim, primary claim by the plaintiffs for $1,499.25 plus costs for a total of $1,656.85. Primarily having to do with the damage to a fence on their property at Spence Road. That's in Fabius Township outside of Three Rivers. The Sebos have filed a counterclaim for, I can't read it, I got whited out, $3,001.86, alleging that you guys have damage to his lawn and a trailer or camper window. And so they filed this counterclaim, $2,501.66 for alleged lawn reseeding from, I think it's a Miracle Lawn Service, and then $500 for the window damage to the trailer. The trailer is a non-starter. There's no proof that Frank or Trudy Heckenreiter threw the stone or did the damage that damaged your trailer. So I will concede perhaps there was damage to your window. There's no proof that they did it. So the other issues regarding the grass we'll approach in a minute. These are my least favorite type of cases, probably in small claims court. Two neighbors that live next door to each other and can't get along with each other. They end up in small claims court where it really doesn't belong, but we get several of these every year, and I've been here for 24 years, so I've had lots of these. All right, so Mr. and Mrs. Heckenreiter, how long have you guys lived out there on Spence Road?
My family's had the property since the late 1800s, and it's been passed down to us recently in the year 2000 when my mother, Roberta Shingledecker, passed away.
All right, so this is the Shingledecker property.
Yes.
Right on the curve.
Yes.
And there's
the cemetery is behind it.
All right, and then as you go, I guess, west down Spence Road,
Correct.
Is where their house is.
Correct. My grandfather built their house.
Was Lee Barnes your grandfather?
Yes.
That's a Three Rivers thing, but Lee Barnes owned Lee's Drive-In, which was a cool place back in the day, and he was old when I was a kid. But all right, so I know the lay of the land and the parties. This is the Shingledecker property and the Sebo property. There is, I guess, it's a cemetery. I read the other day that cemeteries are large and enclosed and graveyards are usually attached to a church, but this is referred to, it's got a name. What's the name of it?
It's Beadle Cemetery. He was
Yeah,
my
Beatles.
great grandfather, and he was the first settler in Flowerfield Township, and he also had the first grist mill in Three Rivers.
All right. Well, tell me about this fence and how it came to be damaged.
Um,
Oh, wait a minute. I didn't put everybody on.
Oh.
We all swear or affirm any testimony you're about to give in this matter will be true to the best of your knowledge and belief.
I do.
All right, go ahead, Ms. Herkenroder.
So as I said, my family has been on the farm for several generations, and my grandfather built 3 houses out on the property. The property was sold to Mr. and Mrs. Sebo through a bank foreclosure in 2011, I believe. My mother still resided in the home in which we reside in currently. She had to have a lawyer become involved. In 2014, Mr. Robert Dudka had to start sending correspondence because for whatever reason, the Sebos were using the cemetery to put their property on. And in addition, they chopped down several trees. Mr. Dudka advised my mother that she should put up a fence and she should patrol the cemetery on a regular basis. Unfortunately, my mother became ill and was moved to an assisted living facility in Indiana, where my husband and I live, so she could be closer to us. And so there was nobody keeping an eye on the property, and there was no fence installed.
Now, we're talking about the big old white farmhouse with the barns.
Actually, my mother sold that property. We're talking about the cemetery itself.
Okay.
So at that point, there was nobody there to watch the cemetery or to patrol it, let's say. My husband and I moved into my mother's former residence, which is on Spence Road. And at that point, we had conversations with Mr. and Mrs. Sebo regarding moving things that were still put on the cemetery. And occasionally there would be other things put on the cemetery. We also asked them to stay off of our property and quit mowing it. And at that point, that's when it seemed as though tensions started to escalate because we asked them to follow the property line. So my husband and I decided to put up a fence. It's a decorative fence. It's nothing that is vulgar or, I mean, it looks like a cemetery fence. So we put up a decorative fence.
When was that?
That was in 2023, in December. We put up a fence.
Was it put up through a company or did you do it yourself?
It was put up through the company in which gave you the damage estimate.
Yes.
It's called the Postman Company out of Vicksburg. We had the property surveyed because there was contention with Mr. and Mrs. Sebo regarding the actual property line. So we had the property surveyed, which resulted in the police being called because Mrs. Sebo did not want them on her property while the survey was being taken place. Then we had the fence put up, and again, the police were called by Mrs. Sebo. She claimed that they had stolen property.
They being the surveyors?
The fence company.
Oh.
So we put up the fence and we're like, okay, this is the property line. We're 6 inches within their property. So there's 6 inches. You don't need to mow along the fence because that's our property. And so we also installed deer cams because we noticed that there were some headstones that had been missing. And we also noticed that there were people trespassing on the property. And so we just wanted to keep an eye on it. Mr. Dudka had advised us, put up the fence and to keep an eye on it. We also get the pleasure of seeing some deer and raccoons now and then. And we did find somebody trespassing on the property about a week ago. So the deer cams are just up there purely to make sure that there is nothing that is going to happen in the cemetery. So we noticed
how many people are buried there?
There are about 11, and they're all my relatives.
Well, who knows?
How big is this parcel?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, is an acre or half an acre,
What did you say?
Mr. Sebo?
It's 155 deep, probably 35 feet wide. But it's adjoining to a field that we own.
Yes, it's farmed.
If you please, Your Honor.
I'll get to you in a minute.
Okay.
So not a very big piece of property, probably too small to build a house on a 155 by 35 lot.
Correct.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, the house adjoins your lot and the Sebos property is next door to that?
Their house adjoins the lot of the cemetery. And then there's a middle house and then our house, which is further to the east. Grandpa built 3 ranch houses in a row.
So is the cemetery between you and the Sebos?
No, it's on the others. It's on the west side of the Sebos property.
So does your house and Sebos' house, they're not next to each other?
No, they are not.
Okay.
So the fence was put up. We were hoping that the property lines would, that would help the situation. It was, I think in October of 2024, that my husband was doing a routine check of the trail cams, and he noticed that Mr. and Mrs. Sebo had laid down 4x4s on our property, the 6-inch line. And so when he went down to investigate, he noticed fence damage, but we had no idea what it was from. And so we just, okay, the fence has been damaged. It's coming into our property from the Sebo side. It was bent in. So then in November, on November 24th, 2024, we figured out how the fence panel got damaged. We noticed Mrs. Sebo was mowing all of her leaves into the cemetery, and we saw her on the film. We saw where the lawnmower caught onto the fence panel, and it's the same exact curvature and height. And so we're like, oh, that's how the first panel got damaged. And I believe you have pictures, and if you're not able to see those pictures.
I can see the dents in the fence.
Okay, I do have it on the iPad if it's clearer for you to see. So at that point, I collected everything that we had.
Now, let me stop you.
Okay.
You say she's mowing her leaves into the cemetery.
Mm-hmm.
So she's on a riding lawnmower
Mm-hmm.
with a side discharge.
Mm-hmm.
And the discharge would be going along the fence, and then the leaves would blow through the fence onto the cemetery side.
Correct.
It's a zero-turn mowers.
All right, go ahead.
So at that point, we contacted Mr. Dutka again because he had dealt with all of the property line issues in the past. And so we contacted Mr. Dutka. We got an invoice from the postman. We sent it to them via certified mail. They refused to sign for it. So Mr. Dutka resent it snail mail. They got the mail with the picture, or with no pictures, excuse me. There were no pictures, just a letter. And so Mr. Sebo, according to Mr. Dutka, went to his office without an appointment and wanted to see the photos. Mr. Dutka contacted me and indicated that Mr. Sebo had shown up to see our pictures, but did not have an appointment, and he was unable to talk to him at that time. At one point, we were in a discussion with Mr. and Mrs. Sebo, and we felt as though Mike, and I have the video, we felt as though Mike had agreed to the fact that, yes, I'll buy you a panel. They're only $135. Where do you want me to put it? So I contacted Mr. Dutka, and I said, I think that Mr. Sebo, here's the video, said that he damaged our fence. So he sent out another letter with a new invoice for just one panel. And we got no response. And so I contacted Mr. Dutka, and he said small claims court would be our next action.
Now, we have an estimate from the fence company. flip to it. Some of the stuff is easier to find online than it is paper. Yeah, there's the measurement. 154 by panels and labor are 1,499.25. And you can see where they're bent. Try to scroll all the way down to the Post and Fence Company, to whom may concern. I'm providing this statement in reference to the property dispute involving Trudy Herken Roeder. I personally inspected the materials that were previously installed as part of the fencing of the disputed property line. Based on my inspection conducted December 3rd, 2024, I can confirm that the fence is not in the same condition as it was at the original installation. The fence has multiple bent sections. These conditions appear to be the result of varying factors and are not consistent with the original state of the materials at the time of the installation. And then we go on to the quote. 4-foot aluminum 2-rail sections. Looking for the bottom line here. There's not a price on that. Let's look, where's the, scroll down a little farther. Repair, replace 3 sections of fence. We'll need to remove a couple of posts to replace these fence sections. Document 10. Where's the number?
I'm sorry,
The cost.
I have it in the invoice here if you don't have a copy.
Look, let me hand it to the officer. It is handwritten.
That's my numbers, but the printed numbers there on the far right.
I see in blue ink, somebody wrote some number. Oh, here it is. 149925 right there in front of my face. And it breaks down to $499.75, I guess, for materials and $999.50 for labor.
The blue ink are my numbers for reference in case I needed them at a glance.
All right, well, you,
There's 1 panel, 2 panels, and 3 panel numbers there that I wrote in blue ink.
all right. Has the repair been done?
No, it has not.
All right, before we get into the counterclaim, let's just talk about the claim. Their contention is that you damaged the fence there at the cemetery by mowing. Who wishes to speak for the 2 of you?
I will.
All right, Mr. Sebo, what can you tell me?
The whole thing in a nutshell is when I went to Ducka's office, I had told Bob that if you prove to me that I damaged a panel of the fence, then I would pay for it. The original letter that we got was for the $14.99.25, and it was a demand for payment. It was not anything, it was a demand. And after I went to see him, then we got this one from him for $576 for one panel, yes. And now we're being sued for the original at $14.99.25. And I don't,
Let me see what letter you, because I don't know if I've got those stuff, the letters as part of the court file.
also, I have, I brought it up on my phone.
All right, well, let me stop you. So this is a quote that you got from Mr. Dudka,
Yes, he sent that to me.
and
Or else.
that is,
It's on the right-hand side.
I see it, but I'm looking for the date of it. Quote date 4/29/25. Okay. All right, go ahead.
I have an app on my phone that shows properties, and I can show you the cemetery, our house, the neighbor's house, if you'd like to see them.
I have a sense of the lay of the land here.
There it is right here.
We're struggling with, inches. Their contention is they had the property surveyed, the fence is on their side of the line, which is generally the way it would be installed. And generally in Fabius Township, you need a permit to put up a fence. Did you get a permit to install this?
Yes, we did. It went through the fence company. I can pull up the canceled check if I have time to pull it up.
All right, so it was permitted from the township.
Yes,
Yeah, you need a permit to about do anything.
In Fabius, yes.
Yes, and Fabius and others, but Fabius is pretty strict with their zoning. Okay, so then you get a 576 bill. All right, so you can see from the pictures that the fence did get damaged. It got bent, and it looks like it got bent by something like a riding lawnmower. Nobody else would have occasion to be out there other than your family.
No,
Go ahead.
they're out there all the time.
Well, not on your side of the line.
Yes, they are. They come on our side. We have called the police numerous times.
This is stupid.
Yes,
This
it
is stupid and embarrassing.
Yes, it is.
Stop. The St. Joseph County Sheriff's Department has got better things to do than you guys fighting about 6 inches in a dented fence. They really do. You guys just need to get it together. I said, these are my least favorite kinds of cases. Surveyor, you can't come on my property, call the police. You're on their side of the property, call the police. You call the police because you didn't like something they did. You guys are stuck with each other. And life could be a lot easier if everybody could just get along. But go ahead. You wanted to tell me about
Your
them
Honor.
being on your side of the fence.
Your Honor, I don't know how it got damaged. They have been numerous times, they have walked, Frank has walked on our property. The trailer, our trailer was sitting in our, and I know this is not pertinent, but our trailer was sitting in our garden. Our son's trailer was sitting on the opposite side, closest to their property. There is a rock, I have a picture of it. There is a rock that is sitting in there, on their property, that was used to break the window.
Well, and let's assume that's true.
And there is a police report. I had went to St. Joe County to get the police report. They were supposed to email it to me. I never got it.
And again, all right, but.
It was damage to my property.
Well,
All right, now, they contend at one point you had stuff parked on the cemetery lot.
we, Yes. I buy semi-loads of logs. And the guy that brings them to me has a front end loader that he picks the logs up with. And he brought the logs and he said, I'm gonna leave the loader here for the weekend and I'll get it Monday because he was going someplace else to pick up logs. And
What do you do with the logs?
we burn them. I have an outdoor wood boiler.
Okay.
So I said, yeah, go ahead. And I assumed that he was gonna leave it right there in the yard. Well, he parked it on their property. They came down and all over me about the loader being there. And I said, hey, I'll jump in it. The keys are in it, I'll move it. Keys are in it, I fired it, moved it. Good point.
That's when
But it just kept getting worse from there.
this is escalated.
And they've got trail cams pointed at our yard. They don't have them up and down the fence. They've got them pointed at our yard, at our house. There is 4 that I know of. I don't know whether there's more. I don't care. I have a camera, a remote camera.
Yeah, you don't need 4 trail cams on a 35 by 154 parcel of property.
Well, there's
These are-
4 of them there.
Well, they're surveillance cameras, is what they are. They're not deer cameras, but they're surveillance of their little plot.
And as I've said to them and to Mr. Dudka, you prove to me that I damaged that fence and I'll pay for that panel. And I have still not seen any proof other than we are here in your courtroom now.
Well, it's kind of the same issue as the rock through your window.
Correct.
The window was damaged. The rock is probably there, and that's probably the rock that did it. The question is, who did it?
Right.
There's a dent in the fence that was on your side of the fence. Her testimony was that she saw Mrs. Sebo mowing and clipped the fence, leaving a similar mark, but not the actual one that is here. All right, so that's an issue, but it's not a criminal case. We're not proof beyond a reasonable doubt, but there does need to be at least a preponderance of the evidence. Now, you filed a counterclaim for damage to your grass, but the most recent pictures I saw, it didn't look very damaged. Miracle's gonna charge $2,000 to seed 154 feet of a foot of grass. Tell me about that.
They had to dig out where whatever the chemical was that was sprayed. They had to dig it out, put new dirt back in, and then reseed it.
So did they do that?
No. What's growing there now is weeds. That's the only thing that's gonna grow where,
No.
well, she has a picture of what it actually looks like, part of it now, so, but
I saw somebody's picture. It looks like it's green. I'm not sure how much percentage of my yard is grass, and how much is weeds. I think that's
Yeah,
more weeds.
correct.
Can I see that?
They use that section as a driveway. Pulling in and out, quite a bit, sir.
Yes, there's some other pictures where this log hauler guy is making ruts in their yard.
Yeah.
that is once a year, and I fix those ruts with a roller, and my gator. And then that's the only time, I park my little trailer over there, but that's the only time that lane is used is when, they bring the logs in. There's a chain across the drive that, we had built so that they didn't have to drive across the ditch.
Now, on your side of the fence, it's mowed. It looks green. On their side of the fence, the cemetery side, it looks unkempt, long grass, leaves.
Yes.
So does anybody mow it or it's just an
We used to,
overgrown?
but nobody does now.
All right,
No.
so
It's unkept.
before the fence was there, you mowed it?
Yes, we did.
Without our permission.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you make it sound nefarious. It doesn't look very good now. It just looks like an overgrown
Yes.
parcel of land, but, you're right. What you were concerned about and what Mr. Duckett talked to you about was something called adverse possession. That your fear would be the SIBOs or their successors would claim they own this land because they'd used it for all these years, they mowed it, they parked their stuff on it. And so Mr. Duckett advised you that you need to assert your claim to make sure that they don't claim. Mr. SIBO is the kind of guy that would mow somebody else's yard just because. But frankly, I'd rather have mowed grass than what that looks like. It's not like it's a well-kept cemetery plot. It's just a piece of land that has a bunch of leaves and long grass on it. Let me ask this. Has it been mowed anytime this summer?
No, sir. Every time I go down there when they are home, she comes out and harasses me. So I will go down there when they're not home.
All right, but so it isn't like weekly somebody goes and mows it or rakes the leaves or anything?
The leaves basically came from her side of the fence. And if you notice, basically the leaves have killed anything that was next to the fence. Like I said, I've gone out there numerous times. The first time, thought she had left, and I went down there and I was picking up sticks.
Well, when you say she's harassing, what does she do to harass you?
She cusses me out, gives me the finger. Basically says that I hope you have a heart attack. Just basically verbal abuse.
Your Honor, we have several videos, but we didn't think this was the place to get into that
It's
particular
not,
argument.
this is not the kind of thing that really belongs in court, but as I indicated several times a year, it does. So you got this little untended parcel of property. You got 4 video cameras posted on their house to look at your unmowed cemetery. I don't know, it belongs to somebody. I'm not sure who it's deeded to.
It's deeded to me and my sister.
Right.
It's my cemetery.
Yeah, sometimes you can't tell if they're deeded to everybody in the family that's as a successor of so-and-so.
Mr. Dutka did a title search when Mom started having all these issues,
Okay,
and it came back. And after Mom passed away, my sister and I inherited the cemetery because it adjoins the farm field.
I had went to the building right across the street from the courthouse.
Extension.
The annex.
the equalization department.
Yeah, and I had asked them one day about it, and they flat told me that it was an abandoned cemetery. And then the folks that decided that they owned it, she said, no, we own it. And I was told.
If Mr. Dutka did a title search, he's a very competent lawyer, particularly
Yes, he is.
competent in real estate law. So it probably was abandoned. When her mother was alive, she was elder, she was ill, nobody took care of it. Then she and her sister became the owners of it and the shepherds of it. And then they were concerned about losing the property perhaps by adverse possession. And so now they're exercising their rights. And the fence, it's not a bad looking little fence. They had permission to do it. It would be easy to dent. And one of the problems when the fence is on the other side of your property. So this property has got 6 inches on their side of the fence. So their yard comes up, there's a 6-inch gap. This is often an issue. The person who lives on the opposite side has got to put up with whatever grows on the 6 inches. It's like, that looks like hell. And the person that owns the fence can't go do the other 6 inches because they have to go on the neighbor's property to do it. And so you end up having an unsightly strip between the property line and the fence. The property owner, when the neighbors fight like this, the property owner on the other side of the fence isn't allowed to mow the 6 inches. The property owner that owns the 6 inches isn't allowed to go on the other neighbor's property to tend it. So it just ends up looking not good. So this issue has come up before over the years.
Your Honor,
Yes?
I spray Roundup on our 6 inches. I go over the fence. I do not step one toe on their property. And my wife has filmed me doing it.
I do have a video of him spraying the Roundup just on our 6 inches.
Just the 6 inches.
Yeah, and this fence, you can either reach over it or through it.
Mhm.
But sometimes, no, they're 8 feet high. All right,
Your Honor,
yes.
I did not say anything like that about him hoping he had a heart attack.
Did you engage him when he went down there?
No. I was on my property. Also, the property line has been damaged, ours. He reached over with the Roundup. He even set Roundup. I have blueberry bushes. I have a garden that's near there. I don't use Roundup. I use a
I
substance,
think
no, it's called spruce.
yes, spruce.
And it's non-toxic to humans or animals. We have 3 dogs. There's a picture that they had sent to you of somebody spraying. Mike was spraying for ticks and fleas because we have 3 dogs. He went around the whole property line.
And what you buy in the store did not work. And what the picture is a professional doing that. He's not.
Well, one of them is you and one of them is another guy.
Yeah,
Right. And
yeah.
that was the
The
professional that
stuff
had,
that I tried to spray, the older dog still got ticks. So we contacted with an outfit out of Kalamazoo, and now we use Stridex from here in town, and they're monthly spraying because fleas and ticks are terrible this year.
because of the weeds that are growing on their property.
So
That's where.
that's why
fleas
we're
and
doing it.
ticks-
That's what I was spraying.
All right. Mrs. Herkenroder or Mr. Herkenroder, anything else you want me to know?
I don't know if you want to see the video of him spraying where he only does the 6 inches, or if that's a moot point, but I do.
No.
What began as a property line dispute spiraled into years of bitter accusations, police calls, and cameras pointed across yards. A bent fence panel, a handful of leaves, and 6 inches of land have fueled a feud that neither side will let go. In the end, the judge ordered just $576 in damages, but no ruling can fix what was lost. Neighborly peace.
No, I'll accept that. You've got a right, even though they don't like it, you've got a right to spray Roundup on your 6. I don't need to see
Oh,
it.
okay. Also, Your Honor, I am not here to defame anybody's character. But I will say that we have several videos of Mrs. Sebo being very unkind, using words that I haven't heard since high school. Again, I think that's a totally separate issue. I would be curious to see all of the videos they have. I know they have 4 cameras, according to what Mrs. Sebo told us. I would be curious to see any video related to Frank trespassing on their property.
Well, all right. You also indicate that in December, one day Mike tried to straighten the fence out
That is correct. I have that video available as well. And that happened after we had a friend stop by and look at the fence because Frank noticed something on the trail cam that wasn't right. And because Frank had just had surgery, he wasn't able to go look at it. And so a friend of ours went down there and looked. And an hour later, Mr. Sebo came out and tried straightening the fence. And I do have that video available.
Your Honor.
Yes,
I admit it, because I knew I was going to get blamed for bending the fence. So, okay, well, I'm going to see if I can straighten it, and it didn't work. So,
all right, this is aluminum.
yes.
All right,
Your Honor, one more thing.
yes,
I only have three cameras, one's on my house, one's on my shed, and one is now on a post by my blueberry bushes because they were trespassing. And I had to put something there so that I could,
well, I'm sorry that you're both got cameras on each other and you're calling the police when somebody steps on your property and you can't, your whole lives are less fulfilling because you got this property line dispute. Involves angry nights, lost sleep, curse words. It really, it's a shame that it's come to this. And but it is.
Your Honor,
Yes.
our attorney advised us to go to do it, what do you call it?
Counterclaim.
Counterclaim.
And just for your information, a panel of that fence is $135.
We checked with the postman company.
And that's what he told me. Menards has the same thing, and I believe Home Depot has, and they're all similar, and they're all about the same price.
I'm looking for the letter that you had from Mr. Dudka with the quote in it. I thought I kept it. Did I give it back to you?
I got two of them right here.
No, they're right here. For the, which one?
The $576.
That one set, no, that's,
What one? The $500?
that one.
In your honor,
Yes.
the blowing of the leaves, I have no trees on that side of my property, none. Their trees, it's their leaves. If I was blowing them, it was blowing them back over onto their property. I have no trees on that side of my house.
And if you would like to see this picture, you will see what we're talking about.
All right. Well,
This is.
I can identify. I have a neighbor. I do my leaves mostly with a mower, and the neighbor doesn't do his maybe until spring, about June, and all winter long his leaves grow back into my yard, and he's got a number of big oak trees there, and I just pick them up. But yeah, the leaves probably come off the trees on there, but at any rate, there's enough frustration to go around. And so we've got this unkempt piece of property with a dent in the fence. And it certainly isn't worth $1,499. But there was some damage to the fence, and I believe it was caused by the defendants. I wish I wasn't even here. How did the quote get from 576 up to 1499?
99.
May I speak?
Yes.
When Mr. Sebo was in talking to Mr. Dudka, Mr. Dudka indicated that Mr. Sebo had admitted that there was one fence panel that had been damaged. We also have a video of Mr. Sebo indicating he would buy us one fence panel. So I contacted the postman and asked for a new quote to send once Mr. Sebo had met with Mr. Dudka, and Mr. Dudka said he had admitted to that. And that is the 575 for the one panel that they admitted to versus the 3.
Your Honor,
Yes.
I never admit, I told Mr. Dutka and I told them, if you prove to me that I damaged that fence, I would pay for the one panel. I still have not seen any evidence that I damaged the fence.
That's not admitting.
Your Honor, if he didn't damage, wouldn't it be the smart thing to do is come down and inform us about it rather than pulling on it?
No, because you guys can't even speak to each other. You can't say hello. You can't wave at each other. You'd probably call the police if he came over to your house. So the answer to that is no. With normal neighbors, yes. Not under this circumstance. I'm looking for something and I can't put my finger on it. I've had this situation multiple times in my career. Mostly not very successful. I had one a few years ago out on Hutchinson Road, one of those short roads that goes between Hutchinson and North Fisher Lake. They lived next door to each other and they just couldn't get along. Had another one on 6th Avenue Road where they were doing this. They were videotaping each other going onto each other's property and calling the police, and he did this, and she did this. Had another one a number of years ago on Marcellus Road where the parties couldn't get along with each other. And I brought them into my office when I was prosecutor. Actually met out here in one of the conference rooms. I tried to mediate it. I said, the only thing that's gonna fix this is if one of you moves. I said, I'm not moving. This is my grandmother's property. I'm not moving. Nobody would move. One Saturday morning, I was mowing my lawn. My kids were small. I didn't answer my phone because I was out mowing the lawn. So a deputy came to my house and said, Mr. Applegate just shot Mr. Hunt 5 times with a .257 caliber pistol. And that wasn't a very good solution to that problem. It wasn't a very good solution to this problem. But I wish I could fix it, but I can't. I find beyond a preponderance of the evidence that one panel of fencing plus the repair would be the responsibility of the defendants. I find 576 for the plaintiffs. As for the counterclaims, there's not enough evidence to show that the Herkenriders broke the window and there's no real damage, the defendant is entitled to spray Roundup on his 6 inches of the property, and heaven forbid someone would pay $2,500 or whatever it was to redo 6 inches of soil. That just wouldn't happen. That's an unrealistic claim. 576. Court costs are $82.50. That's the filing fee, and $75.10 as a service fee.
Your Honor,
Yes.
may I speak?
Yes.
What do we do to get this settled? This is ridiculous. We have been there 14 years. The Horkenroders have only been there 4 years. Her mother lived there. They just moved there 4 years ago. We didn't have a problem. We invited them into our home to see what our home looked like when we remodeled it. We had metal roofing put on our house. And so in turn, that's what they did to their house. We invited them into our home, trying to be neighborly, and to mow across the street, okay, which is 30?
No, they own
They own the right of way, but we were mowing it to try to make the properties, not just our property, but the properties look appropriate. And
can't even do that.
we can't even do that. We had to put up a fence in our backyard for our dogs because of the neighbors. Because they're always down there. Our dogs are always barking at them. You know, I don't understand. I don't understand this whole thing. We don't know what started it, except for when the man came to put
The loader was parked on their property, and I promptly moved it.
and that was on the cemetery property, which is, yes, probably theirs, but it was not hurting anything. It wasn't even near the headstones. I planted flowers around the headstone. I put limestone around the headstones because I was respecting the dead. That's the kind of person I am.
And you said it yourself.
We had
mowed it for years.
And we had people from the probation center come in, and we had that place looking so nice. It looked wonderful. And now, you've seen it. I got pictures of when we took care of it.
When Mrs. Shingledecker was alive, you guys tended the cemetery?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
May I speak?
Yes.
Actually, Shauna and Elton Hackenberg mowed the property. They're the folks that bought our farm. They mowed the property until there were issues with them getting sticks thrown at them. And my mom did not ask the Sebos to mow the property. She did not want them to mow the property. She was devastated when she saw the damage that had been done to the property. I have the pictures of the trees that were chopped down. But unfortunately, again, due to her age, and due to the distance in which my husband and I lived from the property, it was unkept. The Hackenbergs did try to mow it for us as best they could.
Your Honor.
I don't need to hear any more. I don't have an answer to this. Both sides got their position, not see it from the other side. I don't see a happy ending to this. I see continued discord. Got zero. I'm embarrassed that you got 4 trail cams pointed at this unkempt plot. I'm embarrassed that you got trail cams pointed at them, that you call the police, they call the police. They're surveillance cameras. For 153 feet of unmowed property, they're not gonna go disturb your ancestors' graves. I believe her that she at one point tended the graves and put flowers on them and treated it with respect. And because you felt they were going to somehow try to claim some of your property, we're in this position. So I don't like it. I wish I wasn't here and I wish I could make you two get along with each other, but I can't. You're gonna continue to have he said, she said. I wish you could call them the cops because they sure got better stuff to do than this. All right, I don't have to like it, but I find $576 for the plaintiffs plus court costs of $82.50 and $75.10 for a total judgment of $733.60.
7510.
You know, they wanted $1,500 for a bent fence post. You wanted $2,200 for 150 feet of 6 inches worth of grass. So the claims in each case were a little bit inflated. I'll allow I can just hear Mr. Sebo saying, you know, if I did this, I'll pay for one panel. I was gonna pay for one panel and give that back to them. All right. Mr. Broker, I'd ask you to take the orders out to get a copy. You guys wait in here.